I wouldn't say so.
You wouldn't say so?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, there's obviously some sort of working relationship. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to go out there and have matches. But there's just so much. It's so complex. I think maybe once we're both away from the business or retired or have hung it up, there might be an opportunity for reconciliation there. It's just so hard for me to separate the CM Punk that there is now from the CM Punk that was a really rotten friend to me 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so it's just those wounds take time to heal, right. I think. Whether or not he cares to make the effort to do that, and I care if he makes the effort to do that. I don't know. I don't know if either of us have the time for it at the moment.
Have the company pull you in and say, look, guys, I understand there's some things going on between you two, but we run a business here. Y'all figure that ish out and keep it moving.
No, there was never a time where the two of us were sat down and had a conversation like that. There were conversations had before he came back, mm-hmm. About whether or not it's something that I could be okay with. Mm-hmm. And, he's back. So I always feel like if there's business to be done, that's bigger than me. That's bigger than my grievances. So, at the end of the day, it's not my sandbox. I don't make those decisions. I think WWE would be just fine without CM Punk. But I do think there's a large portion of our fan base that is very happy that he is back.
So this happened before. This doesn't have anything to do with wrestling. This had to do with something outside of the ring.
We know each other through wrestling. So when he's with WWE, and I knew him before that. I knew him when I first started wrestling because he's from Chicago, so I would go to watch him on independent shows. Okay. I wanted to be trained by him when he ran a school back in 2004. Didn't have the money to do it because it was out in Philadelphia, and I couldn't move out there. I didn't have any cash, so but I stayed in touch. I'd go watch him on shows. I was a fan of his. He knew my upbringing. He saw, that we were kind of cut from the same cloth, and gotcha. He was somewhat of a mentor to me when we got to WWE. And he also vouched for myself and Jon Moxley to be brought up from developmental to the main roster. So everything was good. He let me sleep on his couch. He let me ride his bus occasionally from time to time. He's a really good guy. And I would have done anything for him. And then he leaves the company and basically just completely ghosted. Like, just stopped being a friend. And I reached out to him multiple times to try to talk to him. And there was never any animosity between us. There was never like a falling out between the two of us. He just didn't like the fact that I stayed working for the company. And
hold on. Just because you leave, hold on. I want to eat. I like my living style now, and so because you had a falling out, I'm supposed to have a falling out too.
I wasn't the only person that he felt this way about. He lost a lot of friendships over this. He did this on his own, and I think that would have been one thing. But then on the back end of that, he spent many, many, many years taking kind of pot shots at what we were doing. What we were trying to do in WWE without him. And look, when he left a pretty significant void. He was at the top. He was a top star, and we were trying to rebuild, and we didn't have a lot to work with. We were trying to make the thing great, and he took a lot of shots on podcasts and interviews at me and at people who were trying to do good things for the industry that he supposedly loved. And at that point, WWE was my home. Right. And so when you're starting to talk bad about my home and the people that I love and the people, I take that personally.
Right.
How am I not? And because we were friends and you didn't want to talk to me about anything when you left, how am I supposed to not take that personally? Right. So yeah, it was hard for me, and I did write you off, and I did say, F you. Like, I ain't got time for that, man. I ain't got time for people like you. That negative energy trying to tear down everything we're trying to build here. I ain't got time for that. And so it really, really bothered me when he came back, because I go, dude, you were gone. We did this. We did this without you. Not only without you, but in spite of you. We did this in spite of you. And you tried to make this not happen, and now you want to come back and
you want to be a part of it that you see we didn't.
Yeah, for me, this conversation Seth Rollins is having with Shay Shay, is a conversation that he actually needs to have with CM Punk one-on-one. Maybe if Shay brought the both of them to his show, let them have a controlled sit down, let them hash down their problems and come to a resolution, because whatever happened between them has happened. I don't think anything physical or anything too severe has happened, so whatever has happened can be resolved via conversation, and then they can move forward instead of talking about each other on interviews, talking bad about each other, talking bad about the company, etc. Whereas everything that has happened can be resolved. And for me also, another thing I'm noticing is Seth Rollins seems to be too emotional talking about this thing. This thing has happened between him and CM Punk. They're both males. So for him to be this emotional, I don't understand that kind of behavior. Another man does something to me, I don't really give an F about what he says or does, but everyone is different.
Crumble without
we
you.
didn't. We got better and we got bigger, and everything is better now, and it had nothing to do with you. And so that was really hard for me. And I just, like I said, it's just a lot to get over. And I think literally, if he would have just replied one time to one text or one call and said, "Hey man, I'm not ready yet," or "Hey man, it's not you, I just can't.
I'm going through something."
Just one time, anything would have changed the whole narrative for me.
You see, even as part of him saying that if CM Punk had responded to him via text or call, etc., for me that's female behavior. He is not your girlfriend, you're not his girlfriend, so what's the need for him to respond to you? If he doesn't want to respond to you, he won't respond to you. Maybe that's where your friendship ends, whatever, but for you to be so emotionally attached to a man, a male, I don't know, I just don't understand it.
Anything would have changed the whole narrative for me.
You got an opportunity to wrestle Brock Lesnar. He recently came back.
Yes, sir.
What's it like wrestling the big guys? Because obviously, running into a guy that's too broad size or one of these big guys is different than running into somebody that's your size. Because, you guys are really athletic. People talk about, that's okay, I get it, it's scripted. But all that falling and all that tumbling and from 10, 15 feet in the air, that takes a lot out of you, Seth.
Yeah, the thing is, one of the fun things about pro wrestling is I love matchups.
Yeah.
There are weight classes in UFC. There are weight classes in amateur wrestling. That's for a reason.
Yes.
That's for a reason. In our industry, if things go sideways, those big boys will crush you. There's nothing you can do about it. But I love the fact in pro wrestling, that we don't have the weight classes, that you get to see wild matchups that you never get to see anywhere else, that Seth Rollins can go toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar, that he can find a way to figure out the beast, that he can use his strengths against Brock Lesnar's weaknesses, and you just don't get that anywhere else. You don't get those kind of fairy tale matchups. Like, you don't get the Big Show or Kane or Undertaker versus Rey Mysterio. There's no other world where that exists.
Right.
So it's this amazing, it's like a Marvel movie in real life where you get to see Thanos versus Thor, or Thanos versus Spider-Man. You're like, oh, well, Thanos would crush him. But no, because Spider-Man's he's agile, webs, and he's got his way of figuring it out. And that's what's fun about wrestling.
Yeah, you can tell by the way that Seth conducts himself, the way he speaks, his sense of awareness. Once he retires from professional wrestling, for sure, definitely he'll be within management for the WWE. You can tell he's very logical, etc. So, yeah, in my opinion, that's what's going to happen.
Is when you see matchups and you see the tail of the tape, you go, wow, how is this guy going to figure it out? Or, oh man, this big boy is he's going to crush that little guy. Or, man, I can't wait to see these two giants collide. Or, man, I can't wait to see these two technical assassins just get it on. Or these two, awesome strikers slug it out, So you get all of that with wrestling that you just don't get in any other form of sport, especially.
How would you have liked to wrestle Andre the Giant? Over 7 foot tall, 500 pounds.
That would have been great. It would have been great, man. It would have been, if you
lifted it, you getting him off his feet?
No. I'm pound for pound pretty strong, but those boys that's big, dude. That's a big boy, you know what I mean? I'm going to have to trip him. That's how I get him down. I'll run him until he's tired and then trip him.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining.